In the summer of 2007, my husband and I went on a walk around 4 a.m. It started to rain, not unusual for Southwest Florida, while we were near a parking lot, so we sat under an awning-type structure near an empty parking space. We were quietly talking amongst ourselves when suddenly I hear a very different whistle, the kind that someone makes to grab someone's attention, coming directly from behind me. Startled, I turn my head around and this thing flies at me and brushes my hair. Obviously, our first thought was insect, but as it hovers just a couple of feet in front of us, completely unfazed by the rain, we're able to see its features, and we realized this is no bug. It had dragonfly-like wings, about a 3 to 4 inch wingspan, but unlike a dragonfly, it had nothing in the middle where its body should have been. We got a very good look at it, and it definitely was just a pair of wings. Nothing else about it was visible. We both stared at it in complete disbelief as it continued to hover in the rain, coming closer and then getting farther, then closer again as if to check us out. We were completely speechless the whole time. Then it flew away into the woods, and that was the last time we ever saw anything like that. After it left, my husband, who is a hardcore atheist and makes fun of anything supernatural, whispers to me, dead serious, Did we just see a fairy? Anyway, I'll never forget that whistle for as long as I live. Okay, I have to admit, I've never been a believer of paranormal stuff, and I really don't have any knowledge about it. But I thought I would share my experience. When I was 5, we moved into a house that was basically half old, half new. One half of our house is over 100 years old and used to be a farmer's house, I think. It was here before our town was even established. About 30 years ago, when the suburb was being developed, they didn't want to just tear the old half down since it was in good shape. So they just tore one side off and added onto it. So now we've got the old house, and the rest of the house is just slapped onto the side of it. Anyway, the house is old, and the land is old, and there's history here. I'm the only person with a bedroom in the old half of the house. All the other bedrooms are in the new half. The very first night we were all sleeping in the new house, I woke up in the middle of the night. This was odd since I've always been a ridiculously heavy sleeper, even when I was little. But I just woke up, and it was like someone had put knowledge into my head. I knew that there was something I had to do, that it was on me. I grabbed Nanny, a stuffed animal I loved very much, more than anything else in the world, and climbed out of bed. I went downstairs, then into the basement. As I came down the steps of the basement, I saw several small balls of bright blue light that were moving around. There were about 7 to 10 of them, each about half the size of a soccer ball and about a foot off the floor. They were floating in the air, but it wasn't a light, easy floating. It felt like people standing at a meeting, maybe shifting around a bit or moving around to get to their spot. But it all felt very purposeful. I felt their attention on me, that they were watching me to see what I would do. They arranged themselves into a rough half circle, leaving me access to the middle. I knew that they wanted some kind of sacrifice. Not sacrifice, really. I don't know what the word to use is. Payment, token, offering, gift. It was like they expected me to give them something simply because of what they were, because of their importance. It was like the same way a king expects an emissary to bring a gift. They wanted something valuable and important to me. So I gave Nanny one last hug and kiss and carefully set her down in the middle of the half circle, which was about in the middle of the room. As soon as I did that, it felt settled, like a contract had been signed. So I went up to my room and went to sleep. The next morning, before my parents woke up, I went downstairs to see what had happened, and Nanny was gone. I have to explain something real quick. Throughout the experience, I didn't feel scared or happy or sad or anything but sort of matter of fact. It was like, okay, this is what's happening, this is what I have to do. It was all very businesslike. But I think I bought protection or something for our house. In the time we've lived there were times when, due to weather, we definitely should have had flooding or power problems or water problems or something. But we've always been fine. This is especially odd because, according to the guy who inspected our house a couple years ago, my parents were thinking about selling. The builder for the new side did a crappy job with subpar materials, and by all rights, that side should be basically falling apart. But it's totally fine. Additionally, we've never had serious illness or injury in the house or on the property, despite 4 klutzes living here. And no mishaps with fire or nails or such, nothing falling over and breaking, and no animal attacks or bites, despite several mean dogs of guests. I don't know if I'm just crazy and we're lucky. I don't know if maybe it was all just a weird kid's dream. I don't know if this is just ridiculous, but that's what I experienced and that's all I know. It felt very, very real to me. My friend just told me this recently. So, my friend had a grandfather that was super into paranormal things. He used to regularly offer food to the supposed fairies and dwarves near his house. Well, a year or 2 ago, he died while offering them food. He was putting a bowl of food under a banana tree beside his house, then he suddenly collapsed and died right away. Then, during his funeral, one of his psychic friends was looking at the body of my friend's grandfather and said, "That's not him, that's a banana tree." My friend's family, being skeptical and rational, unlike the grandfather, became confused. The psychic then says, "It may look like him outside, but that's really not his body." So, the next few days after his death, my friend tried to debunk the statement. Then he happens to find this really well-known psychic and asks about his grandfather. Note that the psychic doesn't know him or his family. The well-known psychic just says, "Oh, you can't do anything. He's gone." My friend then says, "Yes, he died a few days ago." The psychic immediately says, "No, he's not dead. His soul's just been swapped with a banana tree." After this, my friend instantly got shivers down his spine and remembered his grandfather's friend saying something similar. Then, while my friend was just staring blankly, the psychic says, "He was close to these spirits near his house, right?" "Yes, how do you know?" my friend asks. Completely disregarding my friend's question, the psychic says, "His soul's been trapped by those spirits near his house and he won't be able to leave. I'm sorry." After this visit with the psychic, my friend checked if the banana tree beside his grandfather's house was still there, and it was. But it was knocked over. My friend then entered the old house of his grandfather and spent the night there. As he was about to sleep, he heard a knock on the door and he got up to answer it. When he opened the door, he saw his grandfather, looking very pale and emotionless with a fake-looking smile. His grandfather then said in the most plastic way possible, "I'm okay, I'm happy here, don't worry about me," while still holding his fake smile. As he was saying this, dark, shadowy figures faded in behind him. The grandfather closes the door, leaving my friend shocked, confused, and scared in the very house where everything happened. As soon as my friend went to the bedroom, he got holy water and sprinkled it all over the room and prayed the rosary that night. Apparently, during the same night this happened, my friend's uncle's dad and cousin also got a visit from the grandfather. Can this actually happen? Spirits, fairies, or dwarves or whatever swapping souls and trapping the soul with them? I don't know, but my friend was convinced it was all true. Thanks for watching. Those were some strange ones. That last one took place in the Philippines. I've always wanted to visit, but I'm pretty sure I won't be going near any banana trees if I do. In the meantime, if you have a true fairy encounter story you'd like to share, my email is in the description below. I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new to help support this new channel. Until next time, this has been a visit from your Scary Fairy Godmother.